Los Angeles. Well, I got Los Angeles, but the the Rams, dog. And look, let's call it what it is, dog. The Rams. So now there's this whole narrative. Shout out Coach JB and Big Smitty. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to Coach JB and Big Smitty, man. You know what I'm saying? He can't stand Jalen Hurts. I don't know if it's because he's real cool with Cam Newton and Gilly was going at it or whatever, but I don't get into social. Let men go at it. He's a grown man. You ain't got to jump all up in that. You ain't got nothing to do with that going on. But that's me though. All right, but that's probably not how he rolls and how he feels. But to sit here and say that Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback, but then turn around and say Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in the NFL, hands down, it's crazy to me right now. And believe me, I like Daniel Jones. I thought Daniel Jones was going to step it up last year. He made me, look like a kind of a fool last year because I thought Daniel Jones was really going to show up last year. But you sit there and you say, well, the team around Jalen Hurts makes Jalen Hurts that what he is, and that you can't. Nobody makes it anywhere with a bad team. You don't have to be a game-changing quarterback to be considered a good game-managing quarterback. You don't have to be that. For the 15th millionth time, Jalen Hurts does exactly what he needs to do in his offense. When his offensive coordinator asked of him, Jalen Hurts does just that. He's competent enough to take care of the ball, make the right throw, make the right decision in the game. And that's what Daniel Jones is doing. But since it's somebody else that's doing it, that somebody don't like, or that people don't like, and I'm sure that he's not the only person that feels that way out there. It's crazy because Daniel Jones' name is going to float around out there, and they're going to say, whoa, gosh, ain't Jalen Hurts just doing almost the same thing right now? All you got to do is just take care of the ball, make the right decision to give your team to win, and that's it. And everything else will take care of itself. That's it, man. I strongly believe that, man. I really do. And that's what a lot of young quarterbacks are not realizing. And you see it in the film. Guys want to press. They want stats. They want the glory. They you know what I mean? They don't want to have a 200-yard game, 230-yard game with under 25 pass attempts or under 30 pass attempts, under 250 yards, and win the game. They don't want that. They want to have these 275, 85-yard games, overthrown for 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. That don't happen all the time. Where are you going to get that at all the time? That's definitely not going to happen, right? Not all the time. Especially not in the NFL. But Jalen Hurts is absolutely one of our best quarterbacks. He's top 5 in the NFL. I don't care nobody say I'm standing on that. How could he not, y'all? The guy has only been in the league for a total of 5 years, have been to 2 Super Bowls, lost one, won one. Now, granted, the team is the team, whatever you want to say, however you want to put it. He's been nominated to be one of the MVP in the league. If that's where people want to go, he's been nominated. Yes, he has. But he's doing what he did, and he can't pass the ball, huh? Jalen Hurts can't pass. He don't pass the ball. He does. He does what he needs to. He does what he needs to do to win the game. And I think a lot of people say, and they like to go to this narrative because it sounds better, because it gets more clicks and views to say, Well, AJ Brown and those guys, they're so mad at Jalen Hurts. No, they understand what games they need to what games they need to step up in and what games they need to block it. And they understand that. I think they have an understanding like that. Do I know that to be a fact? No, I really don't. But I would rather say that than go out here and say that they don't get along and they're mad. Because what is Saquon Barkley mad that he got held to under 50 yards by the Rams? Is he mad about that? Is he mad that his quarterback averaged more yards than him? That his quarterback had a rushing touchdown and he didn't? No. And that's why these teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, a shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, that's why the Eagles win. That's why the Chiefs were winning. And that's why the Eagles win, right? Because of the culture that's there. It's a non-selfish culture. When there's going to be games where Goddard, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown are not going to have touchdowns. There's going to be games where it might be Giant Dotson or Messi that may score the touchdowns. There's going to be games where he's got, and that's how you win championships. To have an unselfish team like the Philadelphia Eagles. That's how you remain on being one of the best teams in the NFL that's not around because everybody wants to be a me era. Everybody wants to say that, oh, well, this guy, he's the best because it's him. No, it's a team sport. It's a team sport. And if everybody on the team is doing their assignment to their best ability, that team will be a good or to great team. And then when you consistently do that at a high level, then you come out with wins. When you're doing your assignment to your best ability consistently at a good clip, at a high clip, you're going to win. That's just what it is. If everybody is doing their assignment, you have to be on point. That's what makes that franchise a good franchise on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, man. For real, it just is. And people just don't want to talk about that, right? But anyway, it was a great game. It came down to the last second field goal being blocked and ran in for a touchdown. Matthew Stafford was 19 for 33, 2 touchdowns, and he threw a pick in that game. Kyren Williams was chewing up the Eagles. The defensive line for the Eagles was definitely getting blocked pretty well by this. It definitely showed that they missing some guys, right? Some guys is floating around in the NFL. You definitely seen that against the Rams, right? Because Blake Corum and Kyren Williams, they were running the ball really well in that game. The Rams played a good game. They did. Jalen Hurts wound up being 21 for 32, 226 yards, 3 touchdowns. Got sacked 4 times in the game, by the way. And he had a rushing touchdown on top of it. That man is a great quarterback. He's one of the top 5 in the NFL. I don't care what nobody got to say, bro. But I guess you could just it's easier to hand it to Daniel Jones right now, who in a game against a rookie quarterback and a struggling Tennessee Titans team scored 3 touchdowns and throw for 3, right? And I'm not, and I hate to do that. I hate to do this because I thought Daniel Jones, I was rooting for Daniel Jones to snap back last year and to see him successful right now. I think that's cool, but I'm not going to sit there and blame it on the team. The great teams are great teams. This is a team sport. It takes a team to win. It ain't the Philadelphia Eagle, Saquon Barkley, versus the Los Angeles Rams. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the Los Angeles Rams. It's the Indianapolis Colts. And if anybody knows that, a coach should damn sure know that by far. Well, I don't think so anyway, but you know who am I? I'm just nobody, I guess. You know what I mean? It's a team game. Got to stop with that. And it's a lot of us out here that do this on a consistent basis. And I think it's a lot of our bias because sometimes I get caught doing it too. We have biases, right, with certain people. We like certain guys, and there's a guy that we may not even know, or there's a guy that we may not like. But the facts are the facts. But there's teams. These are teams. Saquon Barkley, Kyron Williams, James Cook, and those guys are not successful without their offensive line. The offensive line, the whole line, not line man, the whole line, the whole offensive line. So if we're gonna start really praising, don't you think we should start praising offensive lines and defensive lines a lot more and saying, you know what I mean, and starting to point out these guys? Because I mean, I'm just saying, we constantly look at the guys who are behind them that put up these phenomenal stats, but in order to have phenomenal stats passing the ball, that means you had to have phenomenal blocking to pass. Well, not all the time necessarily, because you do get most guys that get sacked, like Big Ben and Joe Burrow's first year, but the offensive line helps, right? Great receivers help. And they're saying it's a team game. That's all I'm saying. It's a team game. That's all. When we start talking individuals, I think, league, that's boxing, tennis, golf, etc. You know what I mean? Swimming. But when we're talking a team sport, a lot of more than one guys deserve the praise, and a lot of more than one guys always have to do with the win or the loss. That's just how it is. You win as a team, you lose as a team. That's just how it is, right? But I guess we just don't have the time to go through a whole entire roster, so we just point out key players in the game. But it was a tough battle for the Philadelphia Eagles, and the tape's been out on them too. The tape has been out on the Eagles, and I think that's what makes, to me, that's what makes Jalen Hurts even better, because the tape has been out on to stop him, but yet and still, defensive coordinators are like, man, this kid is really good. This kid is good. I'm positive defensive coordinator, like, he's good. He knows when to say, okay, y'all want to play this. Okay, it's going to be a game like this. Okay, I'm gonna hand the ball to Saquon. And these receivers know when it's time to block. It's great watching the Philadelphia Eagles. It really is, man. It really honestly is. It's a treat to watch those guys play, to watch Jalen Hurts do his thing at the quarterback position and just manage the game the way that he does. I think there's a lot of young quarterbacks who can learn a whole lot from Jalen Hurts, a ton from him. It's amazing, man. It really is. It just really is. And what he does, and to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And shout out to Daniel Jones too, man, because Daniel Jones has doing this thing. But let's try to go through some of these. Shout out to the Eagles winning that game, man. One more time.